Oh, can I have some?
All right, and now we're moving to our Tuta Loca es, where we call motherfuckers out for doing the most. Okay, breaking news. Trump was acquitted. I thought OJ was the biggest acquittal of all time. But I think this, no pun intended, trumps it. For real. Like,
oh my God.
What are you guys thinking? I mean, first of all, I'll admit I was not following that trial like day by day and detail by detail because I do not have the time for that shit or the emotional capacity for it. But just, I knew it was going to end this way and I'm still tight.
I'm just ready for it to be over.
I'm not surprised.
I just want it to be over. Like, I'm over Trump and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just, I did watch some of the hearings on C-SPAN. They were really long and really boring.
Yeah. Yep.
But I don't know if you guys have ever been to court or sat through a trial and like watched the way lawyers make arguments. It was a interesting study in like performativity, if you will. So like, and it just made me worried about what people were actually like processing when they were watching this, because even though the Democratic side had a strong case, they weren't allowed to bring any witnesses.
Very strong case.
They made that clear that was the case. Trump's lawyers just came in with a bunch of bravado and finger pointing, and I'm not sure that that's what got him acquitted. Like,
right.
You know, it was the vote went down party lines.
Yeah.
There's just not much you can do about gridlock in the House.
Right. Mitt
Romney.
Romney.
Yeah, fuck that guy. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Mitt Romney actually voted against him, and that was like a big deal. It was literally, I was on the train, I saw the headline, and it was like 20-something minutes ago, and it's like, Mitt Romney, says he'll vote against Trump. And then, like, I'm scrolling down, but, like, I guess however many minutes forward from that, it was like, Trump acquitted. And I was like, oh, okay, so that didn't really... Because I got excited for a hot second. I was like, oh, shit, is there a bunch of these motherfuckers who've been plotting and they've just been waiting until today to be like, boop, guilty motherfucker? No.
I mean, I'm not sure what the significance of it is, but it certainly probably is significant that he broke with party lines.
Yeah. I'm just sort of like, first of all, and like it's interesting how like someone like Mitt Romney, who I don't consider to be a great person or politician.
No, I remember
hero.
When he was running for president, there was a scandal of a story about a dog, and that's what turned me off with him. There's a story about him road tripping with his family, and he put his dog in a crate on top of his car.
Oh, what the
rode
fuck?
cross country.
Jesus,
with the dog in the crate.
That motherfucker. See, I just like,
oh my God,
the things that are
baby.
telling about people. You think you just judge people by what they say. It's shit like that lets you really know the
Yo.
character.
You're just
like, and what
like,
logic?
Yeah.
Where?
I mean, it's wild what fucking skeletons they come up with during campaign season.
Literally, like it is even like going back to when.
Can't wait to hear about like Bernie's prostitute rings.
Well,
or like whatever.
Well, Elizabeth. What I was going to say is when Elizabeth Warren accused him of saying that he said that a woman couldn't run for president because she wouldn't win, and then he was like, "Hey, like you actually that was completely taken out of context, and like here's all the work I did, like after I lost to Hillary, here's how many fucking campaigns and rallies I went to support her. I encouraged you to run. No, Bernie Sanders.
Oh, Bernie.
Bernie Sanders, but like sort of defending himself because that I guess has been so far the Bernie scandal is this idea that he didn't believe that a woman could run for president and win, and he's like, but how if all my actions are saying the opposite of that? Why would I support and encourage you, Elizabeth? Who's like, even back then I encouraged you to run. Like at that time, why would I say that? And then
that's sort of the danger of the way information moves now.
Yeah.
At the rate of chisme.
At the rate of chisme.
Yeah.
Even, and this is like...
And it's... I feel like such an old person now. Like, my opinions are changing around this so quickly. yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how an election is executed.
Yeah.
When nobody trusts the technology using
being
used to count the votes.
One of and that the company that was used to that those electronics, Pete, I forget his last name, but he's the one who funds that company. So somebody who's getting votes counted for him is funding the company that's counting the votes.
Mayor Pete?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so apparently there was a count that came out, and I think it had Bernie at 24% and Pete somewhere, I think, around 21. And then they, were doing another recount, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, Pete actually is ahead of Bernie.
Yeah, yeah.
And then somebody did a ratio of, okay, the non-white votes, so, in amongst the Iowa caucus numbers, the people who voted, people of color, 40% for Bernie Sanders, and then everybody else sort of trailed off in the back. So it's just really interesting.
You think, do black people like Bernie?
I think it depends who you ask. I don't dislike Bernie. I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like
Joe. Julius, on behalf of black people.
Right, on behalf of all black people in America. Bernie? I really feel that people are sort of split. There are some people who, like Sean King, for example, who a lot of, black folks follow for politics. He's a huge Bernie Sanders
supporter. A lot of people don't like Sean King.
Yeah. Oh, no. I'm very well aware, right? But this is what I'm saying. So I'm like, there's folks like Sean King who are adamant about Bernie Sanders, and then there's a lot of black folks who are adamant about Elizabeth Warren, and a lot of black women who are like, this is the direction we want to go. And I just don't know, and I'll be honest about my lack of tracking and watching debates because it's also overwhelming. I think I used to enjoy indulging politics in that way, but because the stakes are so high at this point, watching those things gives me anxiety.
But also, have you watched the production?
Yeah, it's
of the debates in this country? It hurts my eyes.
Yeah, so I say that to say I haven't dug up who's has the biggest platform for communities of color. From what I have heard though, when I do speak to people, it sounds like the one person who is really focusing their efforts on the rights of people of color seems to be Bernie Sanders. So I always hear his name come up in that gambit. But I just really, my distrust, and I think the Iowa caucus proved this, my distrust in, sort of indulging and really riding hard for a candidate at this point, it feels like wasted energy because either, the people will speak and will be heard and the right person will get put forth, or the DNC is just going to put forth whoever they want anyway, kind of like what they did with Hillary Clinton. So I'm just kind of all right, let's see who the Democrat is because I know I'm not voting for Trump already. So, all right, let's get this shit over with. Yeah. And then let's keep it moving. And quite frankly, Andrew Yang, I think, has been really underrated. And the more I learn about him, I don't know if I feel ready for him to be president. But seeing dudes like him, I'm like, ugh, the next time around, I need more honest people on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew Yang is West Coast Chinese. Yeah. But a lot of his ideas, I think, are one of the more forward-looking ones. Yeah. Bernie's platform speaks a lot to the immigrant communities, and that means a lot to me. Right. But Andrew Yang's UBI platform, I think, even though it's not catering to specific demographics, might do a lot more than a lot of other platforms.
Yeah, I think
this is not an endorsement for Andrew Yang.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, and even my thing isn't an endorsement. But I am just interested to see. I would have been interested to see, given the DNC not putting so many rules. I mean, even for the caucuses, there were people who dropped out because of certain rules, and then here comes Mayor Bloomberg is like, boom, I want to participate, and now all these rules get dropped.
He's dropped almost $1 trillion on this, and I haven't seen anything from him.
I saw one ad during the Super Bowl against Trump. One ad, and
was it a Bloomberg ad?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was just like, oh great, of course he can afford a fucking spot on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Fuck you. It's really, I'm very passionate about it. I just really, like I said, want to see who's going to be out in the front for the Democratic Party so that we can really, pin that person and be like, listen, motherfucker, right? This is what we need to do as a party right now. I don't have time for any bullshit. We can't fuck around. We need to fucking win this election.
It's going to be an interesting year.
Yeah. Get ready, guys.
I'm just going to throw in that's crazy. Because y'all lost me.
Yeah. Politics. I mean, honestly, who really knows anymore? Even the information we think we know, we don't know.